All right, here we go. I got an order today for some chocolate chip cookies, and I have to say that that's probably my least favorite thing to make. They just are, I can't help it. I'm going to try something new tonight. I wanted to see how this turned out. I've never used my mixer to make the dough for this. I usually just combine it all with my hands, so see what happens. Okay, first I'm going to mix all the dry ingredients together, and that's 2½ cups of flour and 1 cup of brown sugar, ½ cup of regular white sugar. I use less white sugar than the recipe calls for because the more white sugar that you put in there, the more likely your cookies are to burn or just to be really hard and crunchy. So I substitute the missing white sugar for the remaining of it with brown sugar. Okay, soda. We've got 1 teaspoon of soda. And for the soda, this is about the one thing that I do level off the teaspoon because I don't want too much, because I don't want to be too puffy. And 1 teaspoon of salt. Give us plenty of flavor. Okay, so flour, soda, salt, and I'm going to just take my whisk and combine all these dry ingredients together before I add the rest. Because normally I would put all of the ingredients in there together and just combine it. I don't like to mix the eggs in first and then add this and add that. One thing I do first is just to combine all of the dry ingredients. Now, we're going to put our 2 sticks of butter in there. Everything's better with a stick of butter. Butter, our nuts, and that is 1 cup of chopped pecans, and then 2 eggs. Put it all right there on top. I like to let these sit out until they get room temperature. Okay. And it calls for 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Bring it open. Well, heck. Should wash that lid off. All right. Because I like lots of vanilla. It gives it too good flavor. All right. I'm going to use my hook instead of my normal beater paddle. And I don't know exactly how long it's going to take to get this incorporated. We'll just have to wait. Oh, grab my chocolate chips. And make sure they're not all stuck together. That's good. And like any normal recipe, it's 1 small 12 ounces of chocolate chips. Right. Let's see how this goes. I'll try to mix it kind of slow because that's normally how I get it incorporated when I do it. I use an old ice cream scoop to scoop out my cookies. It's always just the right size. They won't turn out to be exactly alike, but they'll be close to the right size. I preheated the oven to 375, and we're going to cook these when I put them on the cookie sheet for 8 minutes. This already seems a little bit cleaner than doing it with just my hands. and pick up the camera, I want to show you what this looks like inside the bowl. Coming together pretty good. Set this back. Hopefully in the same spot. Alright. That looks like chocolate chip cookie dough to me. Okay, I'm going to clean that off a little bit. And pull that off. Wash that up here in a minute. Okay. Just push that out of the way a little. And make sure all this is, well, I think that did the right trick. Alright. Now let's leave that in there for a minute. Trusty old cookie sheet. Now I did not grease this, and I'm not going to use parchment paper, which I do for my oatmeal cookies, because that won't stick, the dough won't stick to the parchment paper, so it just kind of expands out and the chocolate chip cookies get too big. So you got one even scoop, and because of how they spread out, I only do 6 at a time. Okay, put these in the oven. And set my timer for 8 minutes, and we'll see what happens next. Okay, we're done, and we're going to take these out of the oven after 8 minutes, and they kind of don't look like they're quite done, but that's what we want. Because they will finish cooking, and I'm going to set the timer for 1 more minute, and as soon as that is done, I can take these off of here, and I'm going to put it on the parchment paper that's over here on the cooling rack. Alright, I'm going to make the rest of these and then we'll see how they turn out. Alright, here's what they look like after they come out of the oven. These back here are the ones that were taken out first, and so you'll see that compared to these that were just taken out of the oven that are still kind of puffy and they look kind of cakey, they fall down a little and they expose the chocolate chips and the pecans. And don't they look good? Okay, that's it. My cookies are done. Time to wrap them.